Hey, good morning. Oh, well, oh, it's me, Dan. And, yeah, hmm, hmm. Just out here on the balcony having my morning tea. The neighborhood is already busy. It's not even 7:30 on a Sunday morning. Yeah, everybody's got to walk their dogs, though. Anywho, I wanted to talk briefly about evolution. What is evolution? And more importantly, what isn't evolution? Evolution is not a religion. It does not have any sacred writings. It does not have any sacred teachings. It makes no promises about any kind of rewards after you die. And it has no mechanism for gathering up money and moving it into the pockets of wealthy leaders. Nothing to make it a religion. Evolution is also not magical. It works by purely non-magical means. It is not random. It works through a completely non-random process of sexual selection, which responds to environmental pressures, environmental cues. Non-random, totally non-random, and totally non-magical. I also want to point out that it is not chimeras. Chimeras, well, chimeras are in fact predicted by creationism. If creationism is reality, then yeah, there should be chimeras. There should be a crocoduck. Why isn't there? There is no half human, half ape. There is no half dog, half cat. There is no half horse, half wolf. These are chimeras, and they can only exist in creationist reality. The theory of evolution makes abundantly clear that they are absolute impossibilities. You cannot have chimeras, because that's not how life works. Life follows rules. And one of those rules is you are a descendant of your ancestors. Very, very simple. So while horses and wolves may have a common ancestor, that ancestor was neither a horse nor a wolf, nor was it a half-horse, half-wolf. It was a small, forest-dwelling, nocturnal scavenger that lived back in the age of the dinosaurs. And its descendants went in two different directions, with one group gradually giving rise to the carnivora, including wolves, and another branch of their descendants going off to become the ungulates, including the horses. But the last time that these two lineages were the same was well over 200 million years ago. Yeah. It wasn't even a proper mammal yet. It was a proto-mammal. A Triassic proto-mammal. Maybe it was a little more recent, maybe it was Jurassic, but definitely a proto-mammal that was neither horse nor wolf, but from whom both horses and wolves are descended. Yeah. And I want you to think about it this way. A woman has two children. One of these children is short and the other one is tall. And it's a genetic propensity. The short child has a tendency to be short. The tall one has a genetic tendency to be tall. And their descendants reflect this. They carry the genetic propensity for this height. The woman is of intermediate height between them. Her great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren down one lineage are tall. And her great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandchildren down the other lineage are short. That's how it works. And there's no point where anybody is short tall or tall short. They're either tall or short, but they're descended from somebody who was somewhere in the middle. And that is evolution. If these two lineages never cross again in any way, shape, or form, eventually you'll have speciation. Yeah. But that does take a few generations. And what speciation is when two lineages descended from a common ancestor diverge to the point where they become genetically incompatible. They can no longer mate successfully. They can no longer mate and produce viable offspring. That is speciation. Horses and donkeys can produce offspring, but it's not viable offspring. It's a mule or a hiney, depending. And yes, that's because speciation. Originally, horses and donkeys were the same species, and it was not a horse and it was not a donkey, but it was a proto-horse and proto-donkey at the same time. And then this population split because it was not an individual, it was a population. The population split, went in two different directions, one direction becoming horses, the other direction becoming donkeys. Yeah. That is how evolution works. It doesn't depend upon a magical man in the sky coming down and mixing mud together and blowing on it. It doesn't depend on somebody with a funny hat waving a magic wand. It depends upon imperfect genetic replication and the heritability of characteristics. You are a descendant of your ancestors. So yes, a human is not part ape. A human is an ape. A gorilla is an ape. A chimpanzee is an ape. But a chimpanzee and a gorilla are not the same thing, just as a human and a gorilla are not the same thing. Different species of apes exist. Horses, donkeys, and zebras are different species of equids. And that is also part of how evolution works. And yes, if young earthers would actually read a few books on the matter, they'd learn that. But young earthers refuse to read books on it. It's, dare I say, a religion for them. They religiously refuse to read books about evolution. Books. Read them. Learn something. And that is why young Earth creationists are consistently wrong. It's because they refuse to read books about the topic that they are professing to know about. One of the big problems with young Earth creationism is the refusal to study before speaking. And That's why young Earth creationists keep repeating the same mistakes over and over and over again, no matter how often they are demonstrated to be wrong. Anywho, that's enough from me. Comment below. Send cash or certified check or money order to me. My address will be below. Yeah, absolutely. Dan Laurier Beaulieu Ministries. If you send me your money, I will send you the magical secret of a large penis and an unending erection, so that you will be a sexual powerhouse. Yes. Just send me your money. Send me your money. Yeah.